There are people who walk this earth not to follow, but to reveal. To challenge what is. And gently, or boldly, ask, what if there's more? These people don't just fit into the world. They reshape it. They don't walk paths. They build them. And at the very heart of that sacred calling is Aquarius. Welcome to the path to Buddhist wisdom, where we explore not just astrology, but the soul's design. Today, we begin a journey into why Aquarius is not just a sign, it is a celestial gift to a world desperate for vision, courage, and change. By the end of this video, you may just see the world, and yourself, with entirely new eyes. Crystal Ball Emoji 1. The vision that transcends time. Aquarius doesn't live only in the present. Their soul travels ahead. Where others see what is, Aquarius sees what could be. It's not just imagination, it's integration. They connect dots no one else noticed were even on the same page. I once met a quiet Aquarian engineer who scribbled on napkins during coffee breaks. He didn't say much. But years later, one of those sketches became a prototype for a water filtration device that changed a rural village's fate. He said, "I just saw it in my head. I thought, why not?" That's the Aquarian gift, foresight without fanfare. They carry a future within them. A silent, sacred responsibility to plant seeds in today's soil for trees they may never sit under. DNA Emoji 2. The originality that dares to be unseen. Aquarius doesn't fit in, and they don't want to. While the world praises conformity in soft tones, Aquarius sings a stranger, more powerful melody. They dress differently, think differently, even breathe differently. And in that difference is a kind of freedom many long for but are too afraid to claim. Take for example a student I once mentored, Leah. She came to class with mismatched shoes, purple eyebrows, and a notebook filled with blueprints for vertical farms and interspecies communication tools. Some laughed. I didn't. 5 years later, she's now designing sustainable living habitats in Iceland. Aquarius knows this truth: change does not come from sameness. And because of that, they carry the burden and the brilliance of being first, the first to try, to be mocked, to be misunderstood, and ultimately, the first to be right. Brain Emoji 3. The intelligence that dissects reality. Some signs are clever, others are wise. But Aquarius, their intelligence is multidimensional. They don't just gather knowledge. They deconstruct it, challenge it, and remix it until something entirely new emerges. Their mind isn't linear, it's luminous. I once had tea with an Aquarius professor who, within 20 minutes, had connected Buddhist mindfulness, quantum mechanics, and the rise of artificial intelligence, all to answer a simple question: why do people feel lost today? That's the Aquarian mind. Not just smart, but patterned by prophecy. They aren't here to memorize, they're here to remember truths we've forgotten. Artist Palette Emoji 4. The creativity that doesn't ask permission. Aquarius does not create because it's fashionable. They create because if they don't, something inside them withers. Their creativity is not tidy. It's cosmic. It doesn't always make sense, until it changes everything. Whether it's inventing a new app, choreographing a performance that makes people weep, or offering a radical solution to a neighborhood problem, Aquarius brings divine chaos that leads to holy order. One artist I knew painted entire canvases in silence for months. People walked past her with confusion, but when her work was finally shown in a local gallery, it brought a grieving veteran to tears. "It's the first time I felt seen," he said. Aquarius doesn't just create beauty, they create meaning. Dove Emoji 5. The free spirit that refuses to be caged. Aquarius walks this world with wings. They are not meant to be confined, not by traditions, expectations, or even well-meaning advice. Theirs is a soul sculpted from the winds of change and the silence of space. Freedom, to them, is not a luxury, it's oxygen. I remember an Aquarius friend who, after years in a corporate job, suddenly left to travel and study permaculture. People said she was reckless. But months later, she had built a thriving eco-village in a region no one thought could grow crops. When I asked her why she left everything, she smiled, because I knew I was suffocating. That's Aquarius. They don't run from life, they run toward themselves. Their freedom reminds us that the soul cannot bloom in a cage. And when they fly, they show others that they can too. Revolving hearts emoji, 6. The empathy that spans humanity. There's a quiet myth that Aquarius is detached. And yet, I've never seen a sign care as deeply, not just for a person, but for people. Aquarius doesn't always show emotion in typical ways. They don't always cry with you. But they'll build a system to make sure no one else has to cry alone again. An Aquarius I once knew started a community fridge on her street, not because she wanted praise, but because she couldn't bear the thought of kids sleeping hungry while others threw food away. Aquarius compassion isn't loud. It's systemic. It doesn't beg for thanks. It builds change. Their empathy isn't just for friends. It's for strangers. For the forgotten. For entire worlds that haven't been born yet. And that kind of love, it's revolutionary. Balance scale emoji, 7. The justice that speaks even when it shakes. Aquarius was not born to stay silent. When they see injustice, whether it's in a law, a relationship, or a casual joke, they feel a deep internal tremor. And then, they speak. Not out of anger, but out of alignment. I once watched an Aquarius teenager stand up during a classroom debate on gender roles. Her voice trembled, but she said what no one else dared to: this isn't just a discussion. This is our daily life. The room went still, and change began. Aquarius doesn't fight for attention. They fight for equity. God placed this fire inside them so they could be voices for the voiceless. Not saviors. Not martyrs. But mirrors, reflecting the truth that justice belongs to everyone. Sparkling heart emoji, 8. The love that sets you free. Love, for many, is holding tighter. For Aquarius, it's the opposite. They love by opening the door, not locking it. This can be confusing. How can someone love you and still let you go? But that's Aquarius magic. They love from the soul, not the ego. An old couple I met, married 40 years. Both Aquarius, told me their secret. We never tried to own each other. We just walked side by side. And sometimes apart. But always by choice. Aquarius believes love is a choice, not a chain. They don't need to control to feel secure. They don't demand to be needed. Their love is a garden, not a cage. And in a world obsessed with possession, they remind us, true love liberates. Glowing star emoji, 9. The magnetic charisma that can't be taught. There are people who light up a room when they speak. And then, there are those who light it up just by being there. Aquarius belongs to the second group. They don't try to be charismatic. They simply are. Something in their presence, their unpredictability, their unique rhythm, their fearless honesty, pulls people in like a quiet gravitational field. I once attended a panel on social innovation. The Aquarius speaker didn't smile much, didn't tell jokes. But by the end, no one moved, no one scrolled their phone. We were all suspended in their frequency, calm, curious, and utterly awake. That's Aquarius charisma. Not about charm. About truth. About presence. About being so authentically yourself that others feel safe enough to do the same. Handshake emoji, 10. The loyal friendship that transcends time. Aquarius may have many acquaintances, but few true friends. And those who are let into their inner circle, become chosen family. Their loyalty doesn't always look traditional. They may forget to text. They may disappear into solitude. But when you need them, they appear, with clarity, compassion, and often, solutions. I had an Aquarius friend I hadn't spoken to in years. Then one night, after I posted something cryptic online, she called. "Are you okay?" she asked. I cried. She listened. For hours. As if no time had passed. That's how Aquarius loves, across time, distance, and silence. They don't need to prove their loyalty. They simply are loyal. In a world of transactional relationships, they are living proof that connection can be timeless. Jigsaw emoji, 11. The wit that cuts through confusion. Aquarius doesn't do small talk, but give them a strange topic, an existential question, or a darkly humorous scenario, and they come alive. Their wit isn't slapstick. It's surgical. It's the kind that surprises you with laughter and then leaves you wondering, wait, was that actually profound? A former colleague, Aquarius, of course, once said during a stressful meeting, if this plan fails, at least we'll all have matching regrets. Everyone laughed. The tension broke. But the message landed. Their humor is medicine. It disarms. It reveals. It challenges. God gave Aquarius this sharp tongue not to cut others down, but to slice through the noise and reveal truth with a grin. Cyclone emoji, 12. The adaptability that honors the self. Many can adapt. Few can adapt without losing who they are. Aquarius does both. Whether moving cities, changing careers, or navigating complex relationships, they adjust with a kind of spiritual fluidity. But through all of it, they remain themselves. I once watched an Aquarius teacher move from a public school to an underground art collective. She didn't struggle to fit in, she reshaped the space with her energy. Students followed her not because she conformed, but because she carried a sense of certainty wrapped in openness. That's the Aquarian paradox, unmoving in identity, endlessly flexible in form. They remind us that transformation is not betrayal, it's becoming. Gear emoji, 13. The innovator who sees what others can't. While the world says, that's how it's always been, Aquarius asks, but why? They are natural innovators, not just inventors of machines or methods, but reinventors of mindset. I once interviewed a young Aquarian tech designer who created an app to help deaf children visualize sound through color. I just thought, if hearing is limited, why not translate it? She said. No ego. No grandstanding. Just vision. Aquarius doesn't push the world forward with noise. They do it with ideas that feel impossible, until they're not. They see doors where others see walls. And they open them quietly, with purpose. Left magnifying glass emoji, 14. The open mind that welcomes the unknown. Aquarius holds space for what is unfamiliar, uncomfortable, even contradictory. They don't fear what they don't understand. They lean into it. I once watched an Aquarius man at a dinner table defend a worldview he didn't even agree with, just to make sure the group didn't fall into echo chamber thinking. I'd rather explore discomfort than drown in sameness, he said with a wink. Their mind is an open temple, welcoming truths from science, spirituality, street corners, and sacred texts alike. They remind us, wisdom isn't built on certainty, it's built on curiosity. Collision emoji, 15. The rule breaker who builds better blueprints. Aquarius doesn't break rules for fun. They break them because some rules were never sacred to begin with. Systems that marginalize, beliefs that oppress, traditions that stifle. Aquarius challenges them relentlessly. But here's the secret, they don't break just to destroy. They break to rebuild, more just, more kind, more human. One Aquarius activist I knew rewrote her entire company's hiring process after noticing bias in candidate selection. She didn't ask for permission. She brought the new proposal with results. Revolution for them is not chaos. It's clarity. God placed this rebellious spirit in Aquarius to remind us, not all inherited structures are holy. And sometimes, evolution begins with no more. High voltage sign emoji, 16. The energy that electrifies the air. There's something about Aquarius that makes you want to get up, move, do something. Their energy is rarely still. It flows, bounces, questions, rearranges. Spend a day with an Aquarius, and you'll feel like the world is bigger, brighter, and full of things you haven't yet tried. I had an Aquarius roommate who dragged me out for midnight mural painting, random lectures on string theory, or sunrise swims just to reset the vibe. It was exhausting, and it was incredible. Their zest is contagious. Their passion, unpredictable, yes, but profoundly motivating. They don't demand attention. They awaken it, in you. Books emoji, 17. The eternal student of life. Aquarius doesn't study for degrees or praise. They study because they have to. Knowledge isn't just interesting to them. It's a need. They collect facts like treasures. But more than that, they connect them. Across disciplines, timelines, even cultures. I met an Aquarius barista who taught herself Swahili, studied marine biology, and was writing a book on Buddhist ethics, all while serving lattes. Everything connects. She shrugged. I just follow the threads. That's the Aquarian thirst for wisdom. It never dries, and it's never selfish. They learn not to impress, but to illuminate. Fire emoji, 18. The uncaged spirit that lives on its own terms. You can try to define them, but Aquarius will slip through your words like wind between fingers. They are not rebellious just to shock. They are wild because the soul cannot thrive inside fences. One Aquarius woman I knew refused a promotion at a Fortune 500 company to start a school for refugee children. People called her foolish. Years later, her students now build futures of their own, and send her letters that say, "You made me believe I mattered." Aquarius doesn't need to win by the world's standards. They win by liberation, for themselves, and for others. Their wildness is not chaos. It's truth unchained. DNA emoji, 19. The paradox of strength and sensitivity. They are fierce, but also deeply feeling, logical, but quietly mystical. Aquarius exists in dualities, never fully explainable, never entirely predictable. They can hold the world's grief in one hand, and its possibilities in the other. I once saw an Aquarius artist cry at a documentary about coral reef extinction, then stand up and say, "Okay, let's build awareness. We'll start with murals." That's them. Sensitive enough to feel, strong enough to act. They remind us, you can be steel and softness, fire and water, vision and heart. Their contradiction is not confusion, it's completion. Shooting star emoji, 20. The unforgettable imprint they leave behind. Once you meet an Aquarius, you never forget them. Not because they were the loudest, but because they awakened something true inside you. Maybe it was the way they challenged your thinking. Maybe it was how they loved you without needing to hold you. Maybe it was just how their eyes seemed to always be looking at a horizon only they could see. Aquarius leaves imprints, not just in memory, but in momentum. After them, you think differently. After them, you live differently. That's the real gift. They don't change the world by force. They change it by being who they truly are. Crescent moon emoji, final reflection, the sacred lesson of Aquarius. In the Buddhist path, there is a teaching, when the student is ready. The teacher appears, not always in robes or books, but sometimes in the form of a soul that disrupts everything you thought you knew. Aquarius is that kind of teacher. They don't offer easy answers. They ask harder questions. They don't walk beside you in stillness. They open the window and say, "Come see what's out there." And in that moment, when you dare to look, you realize the greatest truth of all. Milky Way emoji, you, too, were never meant to live inside a cage. If this message has touched something deep within you, a truth you've been carrying, a fire you've almost forgotten, then I invite you to stay. Herb emoji, subscribe to the Path to Buddhist Wisdom, where we don't just explore zodiac signs. We explore the soul behind them. Here, every video is a journey, not just through the stars, but back to yourself. Dizzy emoji, click the bell so you never miss a moment of light. Your path is sacred, and you don't have to walk it alone.